Good afternoon, champions, and welcome back. My name is Dylan Wilkes, and I am coming to you live from the Codename Entertainment streaming closet here in beautiful Victoria, BC, Canada, where it is surprisingly cold because it feels like all the air conditioning for the building is getting vented into this room. So if you see me shivering or something, that's what's happening. Otherwise, it's stunningly beautiful outside and a balmy, I don't know, 20-something degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Anywho, so I have been away for the last couple weeks. So before I go any further, I'd like to do a shout out and a thanks to Chris Dupuis for stepping up and taking over the weekly live stream kind of gig, I guess, while I was busy getting married. Thank you, Chris. And I'd also like to mention that Chris will be joining me on stream again in about an hour. We're going to go over the design of our latest champion and talk about the art and so on. So I would also like to thank the D&D team for being the perfect partners and for inviting us to spend time on the local D&D Twitch channel each week. It is a glorious group of amazing people that we feel truly privileged to get to spend time with, virtually and sometimes in person, like at the Stream of Many Eyes. It's totally awesome. So thank you, Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons & Dragons. You guys are rock. I would also like to preemptively thank our own community manager, Erica Kramer, for co-producing the stream along with me. She does a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff to make this work, from moderation and running the raffles to curating questions, and it's pretty invaluable because you can only pay attention to so many things at a time, and Erica very much helps me to do that. So we have a little bit of a different show this week. Sorry, this mic is just not sitting in a spot that I like. We're going to be doing some Q&A, of course. We'll also be showcasing the art for Diath Woodrow, our latest champion. And that'll happen in about an hour when Chris Dupuis joins me, because he could talk about the design. We figured we'd change it up a little bit. And also the artist, our art director, Adam, who put together Diath, is busy right now. So we're gonna talk about the design of the champion and where that came from and how that came together instead. And of course, we're gonna go over some other cool things, and yes, there'll be giveaways. Forgive me, my cadence is a little off. I'm a little rusty. I see quite a few people in chat already. Shout outs to Barogue, Jackal's Horns, Obo Crazy, Lauren Urban, who is of course here doing essential moderation and totally kicking ass. Aaron 247, Silisa, Daylight Asunder, Cyber Nemesis, Dave Modi. I see that C&E Chris is in here in the chat. Magus counted, Colette, who I've been chatting with since before we started. Welcome everybody. Welcome back. Justin Spluter. I've always liked Justin P. Sluter. I keep saying Spluter. Sorry, my brain. Maybe I'm more dyslexic than I thought. Anyways, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Idle Champion stream. So let's see. How am I idling right now? Let's switch over. Oh, it's telling me to join my own stream. Ha! Let's see, area 172 of the free play. I guess I'm going to get the free play achievement in a few areas here. So, thanks, Kitty Kitty Big Butt. I am excited to announce that I am now a married man. There's my ring. It's black with red on the inside. I don't know if anybody can see that really. It's made out of ceramic. It's awesome, but it's a little bit stronger than my finger, so thankfully I don't really work with my hands anymore like I used to, but there's a very good chance that if I did, I would be able to catch my finger and deglove it, which is apparently an extremely common injury for people who work with their hands and have wedding bands or other rings that are as strong as or stronger than your body can be. So don't do that. And if everybody's interested, I'll tell the most horrific story of one of my friends degloving his finger. But otherwise, we're just going to move on. Yes, thank you. I am now married. Amanda's not complete until he's married, then he's finished. Touche. Anyways, I am very excited to have married the love of my life, Catherine, who is super awesome and not watching this because she's actually getting work done at her gig because she also works. Anywho, so what would everybody like to talk about? Do we have any questions? A lot of people talking about don't talk about degloving. I won't then. Yeah, but it's if you conjured an image in your head of what degloving would be, whether it's a finger or some other body part, it is that. It's super gross. Yeah. Yeah. So, let's see, what do we got? Phelan, are you excited for Eberron? Absolutely. So, I don't think I've made a secret of the fact that Eberron is one of my favorite campaign settings. So to see that God, I'm having a total brain fart. That Rudy and oh, I'm losing his name. The guy who created Eberron. I was just watching his D&D Beyond video yesterday when he was talking about it. I can't remember his name right now. Damn it. Anyways, I'm sorry. I am very excited about it, both because I'm looking up his name. Keith Baker. God, I'm so sorry, Keith Baker, if for some reason you're watching this. But yeah, Keith and Rudy have put together something truly awesome. And it was just so exciting to see a nice update to it that doesn't it's like it keeps things ambiguous enough that you can tell any kind of story you want to through the campaign setting, and it doesn't give a lot of hard facts and changes to anything. It's just kind of like, this is kind of these contexts and these stories, and here's some marks, and here's some stuff you can add to 5e, and it's really, really cool. So I'm glad to see that it exists. I've had an opportunity to not read it intensely, because having also come back, I'm catching up on a lot of other things. So I haven't read it cover to cover yet, but I will. But just my first pass through, I'm super excited about it. It's got, some great racial options. A lot of people talking about how insanely overpowered Warforged are, and I mean, Warforged are Warforged. They should be strong, but at the same time, I mean, they can never wear armor ever, so it should balance out in the end, I assume. I don't know. At first I was kind of like, that's a lot of AC, but thinking about it further, I'm like, but they don't get to put on magic plate or whatever, so I think in the end it'll probably be pretty fair. But man, yeah, excited about Eberron. Lauren keeps linking the DM's Guild link in chat. I highly recommend checking it out if you at all love it. And it's funny because I like put together a draft concept of a Warforged character a little while ago for like a swap in if one of my characters in another campaign dies, and this iteration of the Warforged allows me to build that character more specialized in the way that I was hoping. So I'm pretty stoked about it. Love Warforged, and then the other options are also good. Like, oh yeah, love Eberron. There's nothing that's not cool about Eberron, so stoked about that. The Duck again. Welcome back, Dylan. Hope you had a good wedding. Mind to share any more statistics about it? Like how many envelopes of gold have been dropped per minute and such things? So you will be happy to know that we have had active discussions about statistics, how to incorporate them into the game and how to show it. And I don't have any ETAs on it because I'm not quite sure where in our pipeline that kind of stuff will fit, because it's definitely a lower priority than some of our content and some of our system like overhauls, like the tanking and healing update. But we also like statistics, and there will be more statistics. Yes, so I don't know when that'll be, but I know it's coming, so bear with us, I guess. Leanth 22T. Wait, what about Shemeshka? So Shemeshka Tribute, our weekly stream code for this week, is a cheeky nod to a character that D.F. Woodrow has interacted with on Dice Camera Action. That's it. It's, there's nothing else related to Shemeshka in our game, at least not currently. And as far as I know, there are no plans to add anything. It seemed like a fun way to do it. So yeah, I think we're hoping to have Jared on stream as a guest next week, but I don't know schedule-wise if that'll line up. So I guess we will see. But yes, Shemeshka Tribute. So for Dice Camera Action fans, it's kind of like, oh, that's cheeky, but it is not indicative of anything that we're adding to Idle Champions. Baron Stromgard. Welcome back, Dylan, and congratulations. Thank you. Did you give D20s as wedding favors and require guests to roll on the random encounter table? I did not. Funny enough, Catherine suggested that we make all of the guest tables roll a d20 for initiative to see who got to get up to eat dinner first. But we didn't end up doing it because we just wanted fewer things to manage throughout the course of the day. And so, I mean, we serve 2 tables at a time, and we, having worked in events for years, and like I worked in hospitality for years, among other things related to working on events and working on music festivals and stuff, our dinner service was fast. We got those tables fed pretty darn quick. Zappy8882 just going to say, great work on Diath, guys. I really love the new champion. He's amazing. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know Diath very well yet. Like I'm obviously using him right now in the formation. For those wondering, I have the empowered power burst buff from a 7 chest purchase sitting here, just because I wanted to get Diath's golden epic and see what else I could get, and I was lucky that my shiny was slot 4, which buffs his Born Leader buff, which is better when he's by Strix, and as long as Strix and Evelyn are there, and so on. So I'm trying him out. I don't know if he will be better for me than having Calliope, but I guess we shall see. Certainly thematically, I love his concept. I love that he misses, but him missing is good for the party. Like that's fun. But I will wait until Chris is here to have somebody who's a little bit more of an expert on the math and the balance behind him to explain how and why Diath is the way he is currently. And those with keen eyes will also notice that I basically have a party of mostly event champions. You know, obviously Strix and Evelyn are here, because how can you have Diath without having Strix and Evelyn? And then, you know, Deacon, who will probably be in every formation forever now. Binwin Bronzebottom, who just terminates armored bosses. If you can get his slot 4 item up to 200% plus and guarantee that he's getting 3 attacks, like he just tears through bosses. And then yeah, this unknown fighter from some random book that nobody's heard of, she's alright too. Anyways, so Lisa, why don't you play in 1920 by 1080? That's actually because we stream in 720p, so on this computer the game is set to 720p. That's it. And that's a bandwidth thing for us. Our outgoing bandwidth isn't strong where we are. Like we don't have a, you know, crazy high-end, you know, super amazing megabit connection. We're lucky that Victoria is very close to Seattle, which means that we get much faster internet than quite a few cities do, just because of how close we are to like that vital like trunk line, I guess you call it. But our office internet, you know, strains under the weight of, you know, 2 teams of playing Fortnite sometimes, and so in order to save bandwidth, I am playing the game and broadcasting the stream in 720p instead of 1080. So that's why I'm playing in that resolution. Justin P. Sluter didn't screw it up that time. Who is Diath? So, and this actually ties into a concern that we have about the game that has been raised repeatedly and that we're looking to address. We just don't have it quite fixed yet. Diath Woodrow is a human rogue, and you can find his bio here, but what it's missing is it doesn't talk about the show Dice Camera Action or about Jared Nabenbauer. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. Any of that stuff. So Dice Camera Action is a stream show that airs on the official D&D Twitch every Tuesday at 4:00 p.m. Pacific. You know, it's DM'd by Chris Perkins, who is like, you know, the father of all DMs these days, and it features Anna Prosser Robinson playing Evelyn Marthane, this character here, Holly Conrad playing Strix, this character here, Jared Nabenbauer playing Diath, who we just added to the game, and Nate Sharp playing Paulton Seppa, who is their bard. So that's who Diath is, and we're huge fans of Dice Camera Action here in the office, and we were very, very excited for Holly to be the first streamer to adapt a character into the game, and we are really hoping to have more. To put it bluntly, because we love these characters. You know, we have as strong a connection with some of these characters as we do with characters we read about in, you know, R.A. Salvatore's novels. So you know, to us it's super fitting to have, you know, Evelyn and Diath and Strix beside, you know, Minsk or Brunner or what have you. So yes, Diath is from there, from Dice Camera Action. Let's see, Kogad. So next champion is a Warforged then. I can confirm that the next champion is not a Warforged, and I can further confirm that the champion following the next champion after is also not a Warforged. That being said, I really want us to have a Warforged. You know, it's trickier for us because we want there to be some kind of plausible reason why a character could be in the Forgotten Realms, because like we are tied pretty closely to Faerun, and so because of that, you know, because Eberron is another plane and it's quite different. It gets a little bit harder, you know. So we'll have to think on that one. But we're big fans of Warforged in the office, so I'm sure someday we will see one. I just don't know when, or who, because there are a few notable ones in the Eberron books. So, alrighty, Electrogasms. I would love a list of upgrade levels for champions. Another tab where I could plan out my upgrades based on previous choices I've made in skill trees, etc. So, that's an interesting request. One that we get in some form or another just about every time a champion comes out. Without Justin or Chris here to talk about it further, I don't know what our ultimate answer around that is going to be. We haven't done anything like that to date, you know, releasing the hard numbers or whatever. But it doesn't mean that we never will. So, like, don't hesitate to ask for it. But right now, I don't know if we have any plans to do that. And maybe I can poke Chris when he gets here about it. Ixniz, any plans on making an event with all 12 formation slots? Without spoiling anything, I can say that using more than 10 formation slots is a distinct possibility that will very much likely happen, but I couldn't tell you when. Noah Simple. Will you be finding a way for idle champions to tie into the new settings? So it's a good question. Put simply, like, this is idle champions of the Forgotten Realms, not idle champions of Eberron or of Krynn, etc. So, oh yeah, and then of course there's the other book that just got announced that I'm actually really stoked for, the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. So, Eberron, Ravnica, Krynn, Sigil, a lot of these other places. I'm not saying it's completely impossible for them to tie into idle champions of Forgotten Realms, but we're pretty focused on the Forgotten Realms, both as a setting, and so, and you know, like, just as a like a history lore thing. And like, I know that the characters from Dice Camera Action don't, for everybody, feel like they're part of the Forgotten Realms, but to us they certainly feel like they are. So it gets a little trickier when we try to go outside that. You know, and then on top of that, it's like, how do I say things without spoiling things and getting in trouble? It's harder for us to justify characters that are not from the Forgotten Realms. You know, Dice Camera Action at least takes place in it, and the characters, you know, are very much a part of it these days. Same with Force Grey, but you know, other ones it's a little bit more tricky, and it's, I mean, so much of 5e takes place in the Forgotten Realms in some form or another. I mean, you have this here, this book, which is like about as Forgotten Realmsy as it gets. You know, the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, which may or may not have several of our champions on the cover. Yeah, we're kind of just like, we're very much focused on the Forgotten Realms now. Now, that being said, if we add a Warforged, well, I mean, they only come from one place, so it would probably be a Warforged from Eberron, but how we add them in, I'm not really sure how that's going to happen yet. I'm just going to level these characters for a moment so that they don't wipe when I'm not paying attention. Alright, so Locknor. Which champion should we collectively vote on when they next have a Smash Brothers write-in? Oh, I don't know much about a Smash Brothers write-in. Did they vote for who was going to be added to Smash Brothers? I didn't catch that, Locknor. But which champion? I don't know. How about Binwin? Binwin's a good one. I feel like Scott Kurtz would be stoked if Binwin somehow made it into Smash Brothers. That's all I got, Locknor. I don't... Yeah. Toastmaster. The story parts of adventures is always exactly 50 areas. What made you settle on that, and could there potentially be adventures with longer stories? So, I think this question came up for Justin in a stream before. And it just like... It was kind of one of those things where, based on Codename Entertainment's experience as game designers, and having worked on the previous title, Crusaders of the Lost Idols, another idle game, we kind of had an idea of how long the adventures we wanted them to be, and we're kind of like in a cadence of developing for that now. Now that being said, it doesn't mean that we won't ever have an adventure that's possibly longer, but we're pretty focused on that and just balance-wise and such now. So, yeah, that's probably not a very satisfying answer, but it's kind of like experience has taught us to do it this way, and so that's why this way is the way we do it. Sorry, that might have been the worst answer I've given today. Chuckle Style. Plans for familiars to change buff behavior or attack logic. For example, extend healing range, or X always attacks the closest enemy. Those are really good ideas. I can confirm that we have plans to update familiar behavior, but I can't spoil anything about that yet. Yeah, but those are good suggestions. Alrighty. Dangerous83, where can I check out this champion everybody is talking about? Well, if everybody is talking about Diath, you can check out Dice Camera Action. They have their own subreddit. I'm pretty sure it's r/Dice Camera Action. There's a fair amount of posts about it on Twitter, using the hashtag either Dice Camera Action or hashtag Waffle Crew. Obviously, in our game, it's like Diath is here. This is his event running right now. It runs until August 6th, I believe, is the Monday. It's got his bio. But really, the best way to check out Dice Camera Action is to watch Dice Camera Action. I see that Obo Crazy is linked. I didn't realize there was a DCA Discord, but there's also a DCA Discord. And if it's anything like our Discord, there's probably a crazy amount of info about DCA there. And on that note, the official Idle Champions Discord channel is at discord.gg/idlechampions. And it's probably the de facto source for the most condensed information about the game in a lot of ways, that is user friendly, since it's developed and created by users. But there's also a Wikia that gets updated fairly regular as well. But yeah, if I were to recommend anything, it would be the Discord, mostly because I'm in it, although I'm often AFK or just busy. Alrighty, Garwar, question. Is Eyes Unclouded working correctly? It showed me a 2800% current bonus yesterday, which seemed higher than it should be for only 3 Waffle Crew members. I don't know. I'm making a note about that. Maybe Erica will be able to get that answer from Justin or Chris for me. So I'll have to get back to the one, Garwar. Barogue. In a post-Deacon game, how is including Diath in your formation worth losing a hard? A hard? You mean, well, for starters, like, Diath's buff is pretty comparable to Calliope's, so, you can kind of justify it that way. Diath also buffs the party more when he's with his friends, and the more of them you have. So, I think that Diath is worth using on that alone. Now, that being said, if you're referring specifically to Diath's ability to help you earn quest items faster, I mean, he helps you earn quest items faster, so even if Calliope is superior for you, you might want to use Diath for those, first 100, 150 levels to get through them quicker. Because I mean that's the real benefit to Deacon as well. Never mind his buff. Excuse me. Oh, almost splashed myself in the eye there. That was wacky. Electrigasms, the current event, Midsummer, is the event in which you can unlock DS. So you can do that right now. Okay. Aeolin Trueblood, Time Gates. Any chance you guys would consider having Time Gates open only via collection of pieces rather than forced to be open at set times? Example, increase the drop rate so the average player connects enough pieces to open 2 gates per month or whatever you feel works. This way players can open it on the days that work for them. I say this because I can't play weekends at all, so I had to get the one last weekend done in a couple hours Friday and then a few hours Monday. I don't believe that is something that we intend to do with Time Gates right now. The trade-off being that if you do not, oh, I have a response for Karawar in a second that Erica just sent me, but I'll finish this one first. So if you're unable to play on weekends because you're working or that's when you're out of town or what have you, you don't have to run the Time Gate event and you'll just get the tokens. So, for every 3 Time Gate events you skip, you will get to open a free gate on top of the earning a piece every, I want to say 4 to 6 days or 4 to 5 days or whatever the rough rate is for earning Time Gate pieces. So you'll still be able to open them. So that was kind of the trade-off, is that we wanted to make it so that it was still possible to open them somewhat conveniently. So yeah, if you can't play weekends at all, then pick your character, don't run any events, and just get your close your Time Gate and get your 2 pieces, and then you can open one when you wish. I do know that players are getting their 6th natural Time Gate, like dropped pieces now. So hopefully that works a little better for you. Lucky 13 Girl. Any plans to add Paulton? I don't know who are you talking about? I don't know what I can say about Paulton, except that Paulton is an amazing character. Hands of Corn. Why not add Donar from C Team? Well, everybody likes Dragonborn narcissists, and we certainly do. Yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it? I'm not going to say that name because I'm not going to swear at somebody on stream because it's clever. Okay. Gold from distractions doesn't seem to scale up very well, let alone being worth the tier 3 Torm Global Blessing cost for 25% bonus distraction gold. What would you think about the idea of making it a rolling buff where the more distractions you hit in a row, the greater the amount of gold they drop? That would give some better use to the blessing and would be a little something for more active players. So it's not an unreasonable suggestion. So what I do know right now about distractions is that we're planning to add a whole bunch more. The art for them has been done, and I believe that some of them are going to require a little bit new tech, so it might be a bit before they get implemented. So they'll probably all come in a huge clump instead of a few at a time. But no, I'm sorry, I'm just getting more notes from everybody else. Anyways, so we're already planning to do some changes to our distractions. In terms of the gold specifically, I'm not sure that we have plans to do anything. It's kind of an extra bonus for when you're playing, more so than something that is designed to make it so that you can be far more efficient or far quicker. So yeah, I don't know that we're going to do much more with them other than, I mean, off the top of my head, there's 8 or 12 or, there's a fair number more distractions and some different types being added. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's certainly an aspect of the game that we haven't completely mined. Yeah. Giant Dwarf. I don't see why some crazy gnomish Gonsman cleric couldn't make a Faerunian Warforged. That is completely true, but Warforged themselves are pretty specific, both lore and magic-wise, to Eberron, whereas a gnomish Gonsman cleric who is kind of crazy would probably just make some kind of Faerunian golem. The Warforged are Warforged; they're a little bit different than golems, right? They have souls, so it's not like something like a Warforged couldn't be created in Faerun, but yeah. Anyways, so going back to Garwar. Talking about eyes unclouded working correctly. So this is the bit that I got here. Apparently it is working correctly as far as they know. There are a number of upgrades that increase it. So 3 Waffle crew members equals plus 700%. So just 2 equals 2800%. I'm not quite sure how that works. So yeah, apparently the amount of buff is working as intended. And then at the same time, somebody asked if DS Silver Lining can be procced from clicks or familiars killing enemies. And it... Oh, no, we don't have that info. Everybody's asking Mark. Apparently Mark implemented it, so we're not quite clear on that one yet. Anyways. Oh, am I getting killed by the dragon? I should go back and level up. And then I should use all my ultimates because that's cheese. See, look at that life bar go down. And look at all those players frozen. Good lord. Dragons are ruthless in our game. I mean, they should be, but man, the first time I loaded up this guy, he like tail swiped and killed 3 or 4 characters, and I was like, oh crap. So, here we are. This is where Binwin shines. Wait for it. I mean, if he ever gets to attack again, but like, wait for it. Still waiting for it since he's frozen. Come on, Binwin. No, don't attack them. Attack the... There we go. Boom. Anyways. We'll see if I win this or not. Artificial Moon. Who approaches who to add characters into the game, and what are those negotiations like? Unfortunately, I don't know that I can address that topic really. I can say that we have had people approach us, and we have approached people. In terms of what the negotiations are like, yeah, that's completely confidential between us and the other parties, and as well, Wizards of the Coast is also part of it, so I don't know if I can speak to that at all. Sorry, but yeah, we have approached people about characters, and people have approached us, I guess is the only answer I can give. I'm sorry. Toastmaster again. You say that you're focused on Faerun, but we've already visited Ravenloft. More fun with planar travel? Well, Barovia is in a little pocket dimension, right? So, like, Barovia is wherever you need it to be. I feel like the chances of me... Oh, wait. Oh, of course Celeste's fire drops somewhere else. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll try Strix's ult and see what I get. Come on, Waffles. All right. Oh my god. I lost too much of Deacon's buff there because I killed all those kobolds, or the gnolls. I might not get this, guys. Wait, you know what I could do? This is total BS, but I can do it. Oh wait, no, I don't have a click damage thing. Never mind. Leveling up frantically. Slow down the kobolds, or the gnolls. Damn you, Arbase. Yes! See? Binwin. Binwin for the win. Bin it to win it. Alright. Wow, okay. Did not think I was going to get that. Would it be worth adding a quest line that takes people to Sigil, and then you could add a new front screen and to select which plane to quest on. You could gate access via super hard missions. So I like that idea. I think Sigil is super cool, but it is. Then it would become, you know, idle champions of the multiverse, or of the City of Doors, more so than idle champions of the Forgotten Realms. So. We kind of want to focus on tying things more directly to the Forgotten Realms when possible. Barovia being such an iconic part of the history of D&D, and you know, obviously Neverwinter doing some stuff with Barovia, and the Curse of Strahd book being one of our favorite books. You know, we wanted to make sure that Ravenloft was a part of the game, but That doesn't really extend as much to the some of the multiplayer stuff because it's Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. So at least that's our current thinking on it. I mean, there's always the possibility it'll change, but that's kind of where our focus is right now. I like where your mind is at, though, Colette. That's a, it's a good suggestion. Baron Stromgard, has the Waterdeep Board of Health certified that eating waffles that have been lying in the street are safe to eat? Is it safer to eat a waffle picked up automatically by a familiar compared to one you have to walk up to? I don't know. I mean, who doesn't love waffles? It's kind of hard not to just eat them. Does Waterdeep even have a Board of Health? I mean, they got to have something, some sort of equivalent, but I guess I'll have to wait until I get to read Waterdeep Dragon Heist to figure that one out. Orion Noir. What is the best entry point for a person who just discovered this project? Asking for a friend. The Discord has some really well set up new player resources that a number of our community leaders and other players have put together. I think Archimedes and Silisa and Garwar and some other players have all kind of spearheaded different aspects of that. So if you're just getting into the game, I would definitely start with that FAQ. So if you're not on our Discord, it's discord.gg/idlechampions. And there's a whole new players section that has tons of resources. So that's where I would start. And it's almost worth starting there when you, before you even do the tutorials, because there's some aspects to idle games and to idle champions that I personally, as a gamer of 30-something years, did not find intuitive off the bat, and I don't want to say struggled with, but it took me a little while to get the hang of everything about the game. So yeah, so that will probably help you a lot if you're a new player. Also, I mean, there are a number of people who are really helpful when it comes to information on the Discord. I mean, there's always going to be some guy who's like, ugh, why don't you know what you're talking about? But for the most part, people are pretty helpful, and our community leaders and a lot of our other players would be more than willing to answer some questions to help you out. So I hope that helps. Alrighty. Artifexy. Looks like I did get a definitive answer here. Can Silver Lining be procced from clicks or familiars killing enemies? A baddie that has Silver Lining triggered has the chance to award double quest progress, no matter the manner of death. Okay. So yeah, once they're tagged with that debuff, I guess that can happen. Toastmaster, why haven't you put out the familiars? Oh, that must be an old question because I have now. The Bad Pat Ryan. How much money do we all need to give to get the boys from the Adventure Zone? Oh man, you're. Let's just say that Adventure Zone is awesome. That would be cool. I mean, God, there are so many shows. There are amazing live stream shows. There are amazing podcasts. There are a lot of characters that are just rad that we would love to be able to feature in the game. Yeah, that's the most I can really get into it at the moment. So that would be cool. Who doesn't like Adventure Zone? God, they're funny. All right, Mike Hermit. My 6th time gate piece just came as this event started. I did the time gates, but for blessing conversions, is it best to concentrate on the event or finish out the time gate time? Oh, that's tough. I think as long as you are getting a good 50% plus conversion from your time gate, that it's safe to leave it, because it's no, actually no, it's like 1/4 as much that you get. So yeah, so you get so much less favor that event favor is probably superior to you, because you can get 100% plus much more easily than you can through a time gate. But depending on how much time you have as a player and where you are able to invest your time, I mean, I don't know, maybe you could max out both in the limited amount of time you have, but the event will certainly yield a lot more. Let's see. Cassius 335. Is Vanessa on the possible future champions list? I'm sure Birdsong would appreciate it. I cannot comment on characters that may or may not ever be arriving in game. Those health bars with several hitboxes. What are those? I guess which ones? Are you talking about bosses? Because they have like tiers of health. It's more about how it's displayed than anything. Yeah, it's kind of just how it's displayed. And then if they're armored, then there's a certain damage threshold. And then if they have like these ones, it's just like they have a set amount of health. And you mouse over, it'll say how much health they have. And then the other ones where there's like a bunch of little bars, like a Mega Man boss or something, it means they need to be hit that many number of times. And then if they're armored, they need to be hit that many number of times at a certain damage threshold. So if it's just being hit a number of times, then your entire party can contribute to breaking it, like a barricade. But if it's a dragon that is armored, then your DPS need to be the ones hitting it hard enough to break the armor. So it just kind of varies the challenge of... God, I totally missed that crow. It just varies the challenge of the different types of enemies. Does DS treasure proc rate stay at 10%? Reading Silver Lining made me think it jumped to 100%, but that doesn't seem to be the case. God, I wish I was more of an expert on Diath, because I just haven't really looked at him or touched him much. Eyes unclouded when Diath is... Oh wait, no, that's the other thing. Okay. Where is this? There it is. Treasure Hunter. I believe it goes up based on... Yeah, slot 3. So it can change. Kind of put simpler. Bro, like a Mega Man boss, dated yourself with that reference. Hey, Mega Man is still awesome. In fact, aren't they releasing another new one soon? I mean, yeah. So no, it doesn't stay at 10%. You can augment it with items. Lacnor, is Deacon's confidence in the boss supposed to work like it does? Yeah, as far as I know, it's working as intended. I haven't heard anything otherwise. Just gonna level this stuff up. Alrighty. Hellscream QT. As a new player, are we able to get some of the event characters that have passed? Yeah, so there's several ways that this can happen, and at least one as yet unannounced way that it will eventually happen. Looks like I'm wiping at 208, but I'll get to that in a second. So, you've missed the event. You can, open a time gate and possibly get access to an event champ you've missed that way. At which time you will also be able to earn a couple of gold chests for them. And so time gates kind of open naturally every set amount of time, but then they also can be opened by you if you've collected enough time gate pieces, which you can get both from not completing time gates and just they drop on occasion every like 4 to 5 days or something. There are also characters you can get, like if you see Holly Conrad at a con dressed as Strix, there's a very good chance that she has a Strix card she can give you that will also unlock Strix. And we have Binwin cards as well, and we may or may not have more of those coming along. And then we have at least one other way that isn't announced yet and we're not ready to talk about yet, where players will be able to unlock champions they've missed. And then of course events will come around again, so you will definitely in that 365-day window be able to play that a corresponding event again to unlock a character you've missed. So no characters are disappearing into the ether and gone forever. Hellscream QT, so I hope that helps. Colette, your game isn't released yet. You still have time to change its name. That's true. Idle Champions of Sigil, coming never. An hour to kill. What mythical beast meat from the D&D universe would couple best with waffles, in your opinion? Ooh. Almirage. Sildra 2. Because I imagine in Almirage, just to speak to that a little bit further, not like I just made it up on the spot. Anybody who's had duck confit or has had rabbit could imagine that it could be cooked and done in such a way that like a waffle with like an Almirage confit and like syrup and stuff would probably be delicious and decadent and yeah, fatty. Anywho, an hour to kill. What mystical? Oh no, I already read that one. Sildra 2. The champion tab under the event summary is very useful. I forget what each champion can do sometimes. Would you consider adding that information in where it is always accessible for every character? That is a fantastic selection that speaks to a fantastic suggestion that speaks to something that we've been talking about a lot lately in terms of how characters work. Because like when we put out an event, like, or you know, we put out the DF bio like just now, for example. I'll just go back to DF. The bio is great, you know. Okay, we understand the character. It's missing a couple things. It's missing affiliation, which would be like, you know, the Waffle Crew, you know, who his friends are, that kind of thing. What show he's from. But it's also missing like a what DF does for a party and how to use him. And that's something that we've been talking about that we're not quite sure how we're going to address it yet. But it's a discussion that we're having. So I guess we will get to it and figure it out. Because yeah, it's a bit of a concern. Oh, these. I think I might have capped out my, like, in terms of my current gold find, how far I can progress. So I might have to restart. Cross your fingers for a gold chest. Alright, I guess I'll wait and see what that chest is. Boo, silver. TRH 17. I will answer your question in a second. Did I check to have? I don't have enough waffles to do this. God, I'm bright. I should have done a thing first. How about a Barovian mission? No, one that's actually in Barovia. Let's do this. And let's try and fit Dieth in there. Okay, so what kind of party do I want to make? So I can't also have... I guess I can. I'll just have it behind. No, because then... No, I'll have to have her behind as well. This is going to be weird. This is going to be a weird party. If anybody has any suggestions about how to do a Grand Tour party incorporating Dieth, let me know. And then... Do I want Bird? No. Well, definitely want Hitch. Makos' buffs are kind of extremely powerful. Obviously Barrowin. So... maybe this. Alrighty, we'll see how this goes when I get there. Okay, TRH 17. If I hypothetically was doing an adventure involving a haunted fortune that makes me miss 50% of the time, would that trigger DS Silver Lining? I don't know if that works that way. Maybe I can get an answer from Erica about that one because I have no idea. My brain says, of course, but I don't know if that's actually how we programmed it. Mac Haggis. What is meant by quest progress being specified? Does DS ability reward double favor or whatever is on the area progress bar or what? So you notice that in some areas you're collecting items or you're, you know, so you get 2. I don't think it also refers to killing 2 of an enemy, but I guess I will know in a second when DS kills something. Or he misses and doesn't kill it. Anyways, I'm pretty sure how it works is that it gets you double the quest items, but I will wait for the definitive answer on that because I don't have these answers. I'm sorry, this is my first week back after being gone for a couple weeks, and I'm surprised even now at how much stuff I'm actually currently not an expert on. Yeah, I'm waiting for Justin to answer this question because I see him typing it up in our chat. Oh, it also does double kills. Sweet. Yeah. So yeah, DS double the quest items and double 2 kills when he actually hits something. So that's pretty cool. God, yeah. Man, I feel useless today. Alright, so. Just gonna level up Evelyn so she doesn't just somehow like drop dead at some point when I'm not looking. Now, I'm actually a pretty massive fan of Binwin these days. I've been using him a lot. Just because Barrowin and Binwin together are pretty horrendous. So I might swap this up into a Binwin formation. Trying to incorporate DF shortly after I doom. So, okay. Alright, well, it's nice to answer one question at least. Anethel Belizar. Is there anywhere a legend that shows what the symbols on the left side of the hero circle mean? Oh, so all the different party buffs? Yeah, I mean, so like if you move your mouse slowly over them, it says which ones they are. But I'll admit that it's not always easy to get. So I'm more just like, I'm going to make a further note that that's kind of like a quality of life thing that we'd like to address at some point because it's come up a few times. But yeah, you mouse over them. Nunyobidness. Any word on the memory leak bug? Over time, the application uses more and more memory, up to 1.5 gigs after 6 hours. So it's funny because this is a question we've basically been getting probably since we were in alpha. Because people always refer to it as the memory leak bug. But it's never been just one thing that we can solve. Like this game used to have an absolutely enormous RAM footprint, much larger than 1.5 gigs, and we've been chipping away at it and improving on it and iterating over the lifetime of the game. So like it's come way down. Now, it's also something that like we're always looking for more information on, and we're always looking to improve. So Nunyobidness, if you could open a support ticket and noting your issue and like giving us probably some system information so we can look into seeing what it is that's causing it for you, because this isn't something that happens to every single player, so it's makes it a little bit harder to isolate, but yeah, we plan to, yes, like of course we plan to fix memory leak issues, but to speak to whatever your specific issue is, we would need more information. OG17, is this mystery unlock mechanic for event champions going to have a gearing aspect? You will have more ways to gear up champions, but like it's very much premature to talk about it too much now. Like I know it is completely a topic that people are very interested in, and understandably so. But it's just like we're just not quite ready to share anything on that topic yet. So we'll get there. Colette, Dieth has an equipment item that raises his treasure finding proc rate. If this ever reaches 100%, will further gear assigned to the slot be worthless? That is quite possible. I'm just going to make a note there as well. I think right now the scaling is such where it would be very, very difficult to do that, but yeah, because like increases the chance for it to break your well. I mean the base rate is actually pretty low, so it would take you a while to get there. But yeah, I don't believe the ability stacks again. So oh, looks like I got an answer about the question about Haunted Fortunes. Yeah, it does stack with DS thing, so DS misses will always trigger Silver Lining once you have it, so cool. But other champions will not be able to trigger that. Alex Sargon, if events repeat, will I be able to collect achievements that I can't unlock from time gates? I'm not sure I follow. Are you looking... Oh, okay. So, like, you're talking about opening a time gate and seeing achievements from that event, and then I guess, yeah, I'm not quite clear on your question, Alex Sargon, because I want to make sure that I'm thinking about it in the right way before I try to answer it. I just got a note from Justin Colette, that says that there are plans to address items that don't currently give any benefit above 100%, which include Caddy Breeze item and DS Treasure Hunter. But again, it's like it's an in progress. So yeah, we don't have any news to share about that yet. I'm sure Alex Sargent has been more specific in chat, but I'm like, I have this like massive list of questions that I'm still like working my way through, so it's like it's hard for me to pay attention to chat and that. Can I buy Strix yet? Yes, I can. Boom, as she should be. All right. Let's see how far I get in this. Oh yeah, leadership training. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Hasn't the Almirage officially been renamed Bunnycorn? Not as far as I know. Okay. Okay, Alex Sargent. Yeah, so if you're wondering whether or not you can get event achievements in time gates, you can't. No. Because it's not truly that event, but when the event comes around, you will be able to get them. So if you miss something before, it's possible to earn it then. Cudsack, free play on time gates seems useless. Why not giving a random quality chest for each level 150? So it's not useless because you can earn favor, and being able to exponentially increase your favor like you can through Mistress Favor or through whichever event you're running is always going to be extremely valuable, because they are, it's massive percentage increases to your favor. So I would argue that time gate free plays are not useless. Now that being said, we acknowledge that there could be more ways to earn equipment for champions, and we're discussing some. But we don't have anything to share. So, yeah. Drauger, anything you could do about the blinding white screen when you finish a quest? What do you mean? Like the fact that it just like fades into white? And also, what do you mean do about? Because it's also like these are transition screens, right? Like if you, I don't know if you've been on stream paying attention to stream before Draugr, but like the reason that there's a black switch that goes across is because that's when you're loading assets for the next area, and so the reason that it might linger there longer than another time is just because it took you a little longer to load. But the white screen when you finish a quest is just kind of like that's the transition. I don't know. You're literally the first person to ask us about it. Ivanger 2. When events come back around, will there be 3 variants for Soki and 3 variants for a different character? And if yes, will they use the same tokens? I don't have anything I can share about second year events at this time. Yeah. I just don't. Ivanger, yeah. I know it's information that people are probably very interested in finding out, especially as we approach September. But yeah, we don't have anything to share about it yet. Cassius 335. When you open a time gate, any chance of having a mouse over on champion showing equipment? It would help picking between the 3. I could make a note here to see if that's a quality of life improvement we want to do. Alright. It's 2 o'clock, and my guest is standing here patiently on the other side of the cameras, waiting to be invited onto the show, even though it was his show for 2 weeks. So without further ado, welcome Chris Dupuis to the Idle Champions of Forgotten Realms weekly live stream. Yay! I'm going to pull up this thing with the name. There we go.
I wasn't actually waiting to be introduced. I just didn't want to mess you up in the middle of answering a question.
Oh, well.
Also, I brought you some non-branded caffeine in case you need it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Stay away from those. They're way too strong for me. I'll let Dave pound those back 2 a morning like he does, but I can't. Yeah, I'd get wired in a really bad way. You probably need a mic and headphones.
Yeah, I forgot. It's been too long.
It's been 6.5 days or whatever.
Hey everybody.
This is Chris. Chris designed Diath.
Kind of. It was group design.
Yeah. But you also worked on Deacon.
Yeah.
Who was the first one you started on, actually?
I think Deacon. Yeah.
Was it Deacon? Okay, I wasn't sure.
What was the champion before Deacon?
Binwin?
Yeah, I came in on the tail end of Binwin.
Okay.
So Deacon was the first champion I worked on design on. And then, yes, I contributed to Diath and the next few.
Cool. All right. So, rather than watch me run through content that everybody knows, I am going to...
Did you get the free play? I mean, the drawing setup?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, no?
No?
Literally nobody has except me, and I checked it once, and I noticed that Adam had a lot of things open along the top that would have been huge spoilers in his window. So I'm like, oh, and I had to like adjust and crop the video in so that you couldn't see it.
Well, that's what happens when you multitask as much as Adam does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, we need this right now. And it's like, but that's not coming for... Yeah, anyways. So...
We have a stand-up every morning where Adam's like, I'm working on this, 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 and this. And then during the day, I'll poke him. I'm like, hey, I need this by like 2 p.m.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just one of those things. Anyways, where did I put it? There it is. Oh, I'm going to turn this sound off first so that there's not conflicting soundtracks. I got this like really morose kind of music.
Is this the same one as as Deacon's?
No, the music's different every time.
All right.
But yeah, it's kind of just, I don't know, somber-ish.
Interesting.
Yeah. The free music archive that we use has a limited number of tracks. And so it's like, okay, we've already gone through so many of them. At some point, we're inevitably going to have to repeat. Mm-hmm. But I'm still trying not to, so.
Oh, yeah. No, we're out on the range now.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like it's inappropriate for Diath either. Like, there's some pretty emotional and intense stuff that happens on that show on a pretty regular basis. So,
yeah.
You know, having something a little bit reflective and dramatic for him seemed at least somewhat appropriate.
Yeah, I just started. I've seen Dice Camera Action in spurts over the past few years, but I just started listening to it as a podcast on my way to work.
Oh, how is it as a podcast?
It's really good.
Yeah, because I'm so used to listening to watching it as a show, so that's...
No, it's great as a podcast. You lose a little bit because the players are so emotive in their reactions.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. It's 20 minutes each way. I get to listen to an episode every 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool.
Cool. Huh. You just don't get the horrific smirks that Chris Perkins sometimes has when he's about to do something.
No, but he always chuckles.
He does chuckle a lot, actually.
You can, like, when he chuckles, and, like, I've worked with him for so long that whenever he chuckles, I know he's got something up his sleeve.
Well, fair enough. So since I was, like, totally failing at answering a lot of the questions related to Diath, because I just don't know the design as well, maybe you can speak to how you got to the point where you were designing his kit and like where the ideas for different aspects of what he does came from.
Sure, I think that's a great idea. So just to go over Diath a little bit, I've got some bullet points on his design. So Diath sees himself as both the leader of Dice Camera Action and also not your typical rogue. He's more of a treasure hunter. So when we sat down with Jared to talk about his character, that's sort of where we wanted to start. We wanted to see how he envisioned Diath, how he felt about Diath, so we can try and fit the right mechanics around that. Because with all of these characters, we can't highlight every single ability they have. We've only got a few dials to turn with the specializations, with the upgrades, with the equipment, to really get across the core of the character. So talking to the streamers and the influencers and getting to the core of who they think their character is, what their key motivations are, is really important in order to transmit that and get it across in the designs. So we keyed into the fact that he's not a regular rogue, he's more of a treasure hunter, and the leader of DCA, and how he has a special relationship with Strix. And those were the three things we decided to key into when we started designing it. And when we started thinking about what it meant to be a treasure hunter instead of a regular rogue that might pickpocket all over the place, we keyed into the idea of quest items. Every 5 levels, there's normally either a blocker or something where you have to collect a certain number of items. and perhaps Dieth is better at that. And so that's sort of where that idea started. We were thinking about either increasing quest items, which would have been something brand new, or increasing gold find. And we felt because he's more of a treasure hunter than a rogue, we felt that the quest items was more of a Dieth thing.
Yeah.
And then his support abilities were built off of the idea that he's the leader of DCA, or sees himself as the leader of DCA. And so we wanted to make sure that he had fairly equitable level of support versus other characters in the same slot.
Yeah.
And so that's where Born Leader came from. And then we wanted to find a flavorful way of tying him to Strix. Strix is one of our more popular characters. She's a go-to DPS character. Mm-hmm. And with these groups that work together, we want to try and make you want to play them together. You know, you've seen the characters play, you've seen them in cosplay, you want to put them all together. Same thing with the Companions of the Hall, and to a lesser extent Force Grey. And so tying Dieth to other DCA characters seemed like a no-brainer. And so that's where Eyes Unclouded was able to tie in, connect. So if you have Dieth adjacent to Strix, it increases his Born Leader ability, which is how he buffs, which is where he buffs those behind him.
Yeah.
So the key things for Dieth is he'll increase quest progress, and as you pointed out earlier, that's not just drops. We actually, during the design, we actually increased it to also including quest kills. So whenever he kills a monster, it either has a chance to increase the item they dropped from 1 to 2, or count as 1 or 2 kills. And then later you'll get something called Silver Lining, which adds a little upside down sword to the monster. If he misses, he'll grant that treasure hunter bonus to anyone in his party. Okay. So if he kills, it might increase the chance of the drop. If he misses, anyone can kill it, including you if you want to click it, to potentially increase that chance as well of getting additional stuff. And what that means is when you get to the specializations, you can either increase him from a support standpoint and increase his Born Leader, or you can increase his chance to miss, which doesn't sound like a really good thing, but
no, it sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible, but for his design it actually works pretty well, because what you want is you either want him killing or you want him missing. You don't want him dealing damage and not killing.
Yeah.
And so if you increase the percent chance to miss, what you're doing is every time he attacks, you're basically marking that monster to award double quest progress. And so that's where the two specialization lines diverge. It's increasing the chance to miss and increasing your speed of getting through those each level, or increasing his support ability, which is Born Leader, which is buffing those behind him if you're trying to push hard against your wall.
Okay. So when he's doubling the number of kills or quest items you get, how does that interact with something like the levels where you have however many sarcophagi to blow up that you have to hit H times each? Do you get 2 sarcophagi kills if he gets one of the hits or the last hit?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
No, I think it specifically relates to
monsters
quest
or item drops
or kills.
Okay, so it's not objects, I guess.
No.
All right, that wouldn't make sense anyways. There's one sarcophagus there, so
yeah. And if he misses with static objects, it won't give it the Silver Lining buff.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. So, working with Jared on part of the design, like what's that process like? Because I know that it varies from person to person as they're involved. Like, and Jared obviously. Pro Jared has played a lot of games, so I imagine he has different insights than perhaps some of the streamers do when it comes to how to incorporate different elements of his character.
Yeah, well, he definitely had a lot of great ideas. We do a call initially with once the contracting's all out of the way and we're aligned and we've got approval and we know we're going to bring the character into the game. The first thing we do is we sort of lay everything out on a sheet to talk to the influencer about, and we get on a call with marketing and with design and art, and we explain the process to the influencer, and we talk about what makes their character, and we also talk about what specific equipment the character should have, because even if it's someone like Dice Camera Action that we're all very well aware of, we may not have seen every episode, we may not understand all the backstory, and they may feel that certain equipment pieces are core to their character where we might not.
Yeah.
And so getting their input at this point is super important, because we want the characters to feel authentic, and we do our best to make them feel authentic. But the more input we have from the influencers, the better.
Yeah.
And so we get in the call. We talk about character motivations. We talk about look and feel, different art styles, and what color hair, what length, all that stuff. And with Dice Camera Action, it's super easy. It's been going on for 3 years. There's a ton of fan art. And
That was the Adam Goes for Coffee overlay that popped up there when it's like freezes for like 15 seconds. Because this is all sped up, so that was like 15, 20 minutes. Yeah.
it's a pretty quick coffee run.
Yeah.
But working with Jared was really great at keying into equipment right away. He's like, these are the things that DF would not get rid of. His necklace, gutter, the iron flask, which I had completely blanked on. I'd totally forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And so when he mentioned the iron flask and reminded us about it, we started thinking about it, and that's actually where the design for the Ultimate came from.
Yeah.
Was adding the equipment piece of the iron flask in. Sometimes we have an idea for an Ultimate and it just comes straight out of design.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes specifically from a piece of equipment, and that was the case here, where adding the iron flask is what gave us the inspiration for the gigantic elemental arm that came down.
Yeah.
And that design, the art, how that looks was all Adam, because we were like, how are we going to show this 50-foot gigantic fire primordial?
Yeah.
And he was like, what if it was just this huge giant fist that came down? I'm like, ooh. Okay. Yeah, draw that.
Yeah. I mean, I can tab over and click his Ultimate in a bit, but yeah, it's there. But nobody can see that because it's kind of going back and forth on the thing. Oh, it's getting into the coloring stage.
Uh-oh. Shading.
Yeah.
Break out the crayons.
I always find it fascinating that that members of our art team will draw in black and white and then make the changes. I mean, it's good for line work and stuff. Like, I've done that with photography, but never drawing anything. So
I'm just amazed that they could do this. This is so beyond my level of ability. It's crazy. Like, the fact that they can put together what they do in the time that they do it, it continues to astound me. Woo.
Yeah, that eye grew real fast.
That eye just went crazy for a minute.
Yeah. So I guess this is your, I guess, second official champion now. And there's a few more in the pipeline. What about this? What ideas, I guess, are you looking at in order to keep things like this fresh? Because, like, obviously, with Diath, he's the second character who has an impact on the speed at which you progress through the game.
Mm-hmm.
What made you, want to approach that kind of mechanic? Because it's also the kind of mechanic, like, we've had players asking us about ways to speed up early levels for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you want to continue to revisit, or is it something that maybe we'll have a few characters that can do something kind of like that, but it's not a mechanic that we will tend to lean on?
I don't think that it's a mechanic we're going to come back to too often. I think that Deacon and DF both being tied to quest progress and speed is more just the fact that as I tell my daughter, I'm basically like a small child and I'm a toddler and I get distracted by shiny things. So, we've had people talking about increasing speed on Discord, and we've been talking about it in the office. And I think it's just the idea that, Deacon was specifically designed to speed your progress. DF, we didn't come at it as a way to speed your progress. It just kind of ended up there in a different way as Deacon. I think people were pretty excited about Deacon, and I'm happy to hear that. I think DF is a little tweak to that approach. Luckily, the two aren't mutually exclusive. You can use both of them together, or one or the other. But it just gives different knobs that players can twist depending on what their playstyle is at whatever area they're at.
Yeah, I imagine somebody will do the math at some point. Exactly, be like, this is how many minutes faster your 1 to 50 and your 1 to 100 and such are with, using both of them or one or the other, and etc. Because there's always somebody who does that, which is good because I'm not going to do it. He seems good. I'm still pushing with him. We'll see if I can reach my wall with him or not. I have not played him enough. He's
Oh, it's only 24 hours old.
And I don't play test characters in advance, so I don't get to try them until they launch for everybody else. So.
Well, it's funny because Deacon was the first character that I worked on design with Justin on, and Justin was on vacation when we were putting him into the game. So when we were doing balance testing in QA, I didn't have Justin to lean on, so I'm sitting there with a stopwatch timing Deacon runs to make sure that it was impactful enough.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Cool.
I don't think it was as fun for everyone in the office when I was yelling when I got distracted over missing my stopwatch timer or something.
Well, maybe they can program something into the dev part of the game, like a dev version of the game where they can have a timer running.
Are you volunteering Mark for projects?
No, I'm volunteering Dave for projects because he'll be back next week and Mark will be gone, I think, right?
All right, yeah, that's true.
It's summer, so people are going on vacation.
Everyone is.
We have
out.
a few people out, and there's quite a few people out next week, looks like. I don't know, something about August long weekends, whatever those are. People like those.
I'm excited about BC Day. Like, the idea of having holidays more often is pretty cool.
Yeah, we average a good stat a month.
Yeah, I'm not used to that.
Oh.
Coming from the States, it's like you get Memorial Day, and then you don't get enough. Well, you get 4th of July, I guess. But there's a big drop between New Year's and Memorial Day. I think there might be one holiday, and it's variable. Like, it might be President's Day for you. It might be Martin Luther King Day.
No, we don't celebrate those, I don't think. Not as official stats.
Ah.
Yeah. But we still have something every month, and some months with more. So.
I look forward to that.
Yeah. One of us.
Yes. So what else do we have for questions? I saw you had a huge list.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's usually a pretty large list, but there was at least one that I was going to bug you about when you got here, if I can find it. Talking about Ravnica? No. Plans for familiars to change buff behavior or attack logic, which was kind of an interesting idea, but...
It's an interesting idea, but... there's a lot of things we can do with familiars. I don't know that we're going to get that deep into the strategy of familiars.
No, every 30th attack launches a fireball. I don't know. And gold distractions, doing a different kind of scaling to reward players who are playing more active. Although the extra gold is really the reward, but anyways. What was the other one?
Well, you know that...
No. That's what is meant by quest progress. Okay, yeah. Some quality of life stuff that you know about. Oh yeah, the blinding white screen when you do a quest complete. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get this thing ready to...
Oh, are you doing another free play run?
Well, then I can load the thing. So let's see how white this is.
Blinding
It just kind of goes...
Yeah. I guess if you're on like a really... Like, our screen's a little darker right now, but I guess if you're going for maximum brightness...
Yeah.
You're in a really dark room.
Going from whatever is on screen to max white is jarring.
Yeah,
but it's also, we don't transition that way with anything else. We only use black transitions for everything. So.
I'm going to call it a bug.
Yeah. A bug that's been there since alpha.
I thought you were going to do Midsummer.
Oh yeah, I gapped out and just clicked on the thing. All right. Well, I'll let Bruner die alone in the woods while we're going. Okay. What was the other one?
Yeah, you're playing and we're talking about it, but no one's seen this.
Yeah. Let's see. Time gates. There are bosses in new content where you have to kill 2. Does Dieth cause the scene to progress while the second boss is still looking at you? It would not, apparently. No. Yeah. The answer is no.
Perhaps we could be a little bit more specific on quest progress, but we're trying to keep the text down a little bit. But the quest progress he duplicates is drops and kills of regular monsters, not bosses.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, so it's like kill 25.
So the hags.
The hags you won't get bonus for like...
You won't kill 2 of them and get 4 kills and then... Okay. Cool. Let's see. Some quality of life suggestions. Oh, is Barrow Binwin being horrendous a Canadian thing for really good? Yeah, it's a bit of a more Pacific Northwest, where you basically describe something as being incredibly awful in a somewhat sarcastic way, meaning that it's actually awesome. But I realized that that's actually pretty popular here and less so in a lot of other places. Hey, I have friends in Seattle that use that kind of language, but I don't know what it's like in Renton, but yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's just me proving that I'm from Victoria. Creepy Monster 83. When is Stokey's event coming back around?
October? It's either September or October.
End of September, October, somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So we've got the anniversary celebration in the start of September, and then I think we'll have one more event before we circle back around to High Harvest Tide.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. Somebody was hoping to see Uncanny Dodge as a mechanic for DF, but what we got is cool too.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that, Elwarius. Yeah, like I pointed out a couple of times while you were gone, and I pointed out today, it's impossible to show everything that you want from every character. We try to make the characters balanced against each other. We try to make them as understandable but also evocative as possible, but it's impossible to include every single thing that the character could possibly do.
It's true, especially when they get to higher levels. They have so many bloody things they can do. It's ridiculous. It's just insane. Insane, I tells you.
Do you want to go back to the game?
I can let that run through again, though.
Oh, okay.
Why not?
Yeah.
It's somber.
Yeah.
I'm tired of listening to our game
I
music.
kind of wanted to take a nap during it though.
Yeah.
Like it was relaxing. I'm gonna find that and just like play it while I'm sitting on my back porch tonight.
Yeah. Alrighty. How does DS ability work on stages where you are trying to get one randomly dropped item, like the Ward Smasher in Mad Wizard?
It should not affect any of those stages, because
It doesn't double your chances to get one or
It might
something.
double your chance to drop it, unless if it's dropping from a specific mob, like the skeleton keys did. It won't affect that. But if there's a chance that a mob will drop a thing, then yes, it'll probably affect that.
Okay. If DS Ultimate always hits the same spot on the ground, does it hit everything? I can't tell if mobs right up in the party's face are taking damage from it.
As far as I've seen, yes, it hits the whole screen. Because I've used it on mobs where I have 5 or 6 up against Evelyn, and they get wrecked.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Drunk27, but Progress does not carry across Steam and iPad or tablet for Android.
Sorry.
Yeah. Unless you're Blizzard Entertainment, that kind of thing is like ludicrously difficult to do. And even then, Steam, Valve, Microsoft, and Apple are 3 companies that don't always see eye to eye. So it's kind of like that's a hard thing to accomplish. Kudos to the companies that can pull that off, though. Let's see, Artifacts. Hi, Chris. Can you spoil something for us? Dealer's pick. You already did.
Did I?
Yeah, you mentioned anniversary celebration already.
Oh yeah, but I've been hinting at that for weeks.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I haven't been watching your stream.
Sorry.
I've been busy.
My filter is much lower than yours. I'm just like, whatever, anniversary celebration. I want people to be excited. Spoil something. New evergreen character coming soon. Focus on Kelemvor favor when you get out of Midsummer. For serious.
Okay. Does the D&D universe have a mime? Other than mimics, doppelgangers, etc.
A mime? Like the rope pull I'm in a box thing?
I don't know. Something like that. I am not a performer, just in case you were wondering.
I mean, maybe. Why not? You can put one in your world. Erica is saying, pretty sure they do, because I play one in my home campaign.
Oh, we have an overpowered mime character in Crusaders of the Lost Idols. That would be horrendous. You guys like that? Horrendous? Horrendous isn't too good? Mime characters. Seriously though, there's a lot of things that mimic in the D&D universe, so doesn't mean that they would be a champion.
True.
But there are mimics. There are mimics in this adventure. Oh yeah, one of Adam's coffee breaks. I didn't catch this one when I was putting the video together because I was like sitting there and watching 20 minutes all the way through and then going back and just, yeah.
You're not doing anything. You can sit there and watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm totally not busy at all. Boring Janine. How do familiars work and what do they do? Do you want me to answer that?
I'm okay with either of us. I didn't want
All
to
right,
steal your thunder.
I'll go away from somber time to back to the game. So, you've got a familiar. Congratulations, familiars are awesome.
You reached.
They
Area
tend to be
65.
cute. So once you've unlocked a familiar, whether you've purchased it with money or you've bought it with gems, and they come in this little menu here, you can either drag directly from the menu or just from the part on the bar to get a random one, and you get a few spots that show up on screen. One of the ones that's missing right now is the ultimate bar here, but wherever you put it, the familiar basically clicks there, like you're clicking your mouse. So when it's in the field, like these ones, it'll do, I want to say, it's supposed to be like 20 clicks a second or something, but I could be off on that math because I don't honestly remember. That doesn't look like 20 clicks a second.
Well, no, because you've got it animated down because of the flashing.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. It's not looking like it's clicking as many times as it should. Sorry, for most of you, and if you are sensitive, avert your eyes for a moment.
Look away. We'll tell you when.
Yeah. Your familiars will look like characters just going crazy clicking on the battlefield.
Hey, you got the homage.
Yeah, I do.
Which I will forever call it a bunnycorn now.
Bunnycorn, yeah. And it's, if you put it down here on the bar, like it does the same thing, but it doesn't click quite as quickly. It clicks for you. Like that's really it. Familiars are clickers. They're auto clickers. So you can have up to 4 on the battlefield here, and once you have 3 of them, it'll also pick up what we call goobers, but basically everything that gets dropped. So they're really helpful in a few contexts, I find. Like early levels, especially in more difficult adventures, they will keep all the enemies clear for you while your characters can do their thing, while you can earn gold to level them up or whatever. Especially in some of the earlier adventures where, depending on how well equipped you are, you might get overwhelmed and killed by enemies before you can even kill one. I certainly one of the first Tomb Annihilation adventures was like that. Like when it first dropped, they basically you needed to have rare gear on all your characters in order to do them. Otherwise, the zombies would eventually overwhelm and kill Bruenor before you had any money. So they're good. They're good for stuff like that. I tend to use them to allow me to tab into the game less frequently. I often don't actually use them as clickers. Instead, I will have a few characters that I'm leveling up.
Dig in.
Where's my Binwin? I like Binwin. I use them a lot.
I gotta use your Binwin tech on the Tomb of Annihilation or
Oh
Tomb
yeah,
of Nine Gods.
Binwin is how I killed Acererak and the Soulmonger. Like he just.
I was walled at 250 the other night. I was outside my daughter's room waiting for her to go to sleep, just trying to get Acererak dead. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing. I'm doing work. Go to bed."
Yeah. Anyways, so you can just kind of like, oh, I've got this little party, and you can have your auto clickers, your familiars, leveling them up for you. Currently, up to 6 of them, which isn't quite a full party in any of the current available campaigns or adventures.
We should do more familiars.
We should do more familiars. You should add that to your list.
All right.
More familiars.
More. They are.
But I have them leveling up my characters, and when I get to my wall or close to my wall, when all the characters have reached max level, I'll switch my leveling from upgrade up to like plus 10 levels, and I'll put it on only my DPS and my tank, and it'll just hopefully they'll get enough Barrow and stacks or whatever's going on to keep progressing. So it just allows you to play it more passively. Is the biggest thing. If you're playing on iPad or tablet for Android, they have a little bit more value, I think, because tapping on your screen is way different than clicking on a mouse. And so removing that part where you don't have to do that, where you have 1, 2, 3, or 4 familiars on the battlefield area, clicking away is really helpful, I find. So
I agree.
I think that's an adequate description of familiars.
And I didn't realize, for those that haven't seen familiars yet, they unlock once you reach level...
Area 66 you have to complete once you have one.
Yeah.
Now there was a reasoning behind that implementation when they first came out, and it was something to do with not wanting to confuse players and a few other things, but we've gotten to the point where players so consistently are easily able to progress to much further than 66, further than 266 often. So it might be one of those things that's redundant that we need to just remove and change the way that you activate them once you've unlocked them.
Maybe, but I think that'll have to be tied with like a redo of the tutorial.
Yes.
I think one of
No, it would be, because starting a tutorial with a familiar that is also not going to be explained by the tutorial wouldn't be very helpful. But yeah, I don't know. It's on our radar. Well, it's on some of our radar. I don't know if it's on your radar.
Sure.
I can't remember the last time we talked about it. I don't think I was having that discussion with you. So
No.
but yeah, there is more to be done. Oh, I'm gonna drop familiars onto more characters. More characters. Anyways, yeah, I like Binwin. Now that we have enough buffers that I can afford to not use Naeli all the time. I mean, yes, Naeli is a categorically stronger tank than Evelyn is right now, but their buffing is comparable. Now that there's enough flexibility that I can use Binwin, I really like him because that extra attacks thing and doing double damage to armor and objects is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Especially once you can guarantee at least 2 to 3 hits. 2 to hits is kind of, but like 3 or more it starts getting crazy. Especially since his attack timer gets so long that you'll just idling get 3-4 Barrow stacks before he hits again, so that he can just tear down bosses at higher levels. So
good.
Yes, so he's good.
It's good.
Oh, and the number of clicks per second per familiar is 5.
Because Erica is amazing.
Yeah, she remembers that stuff. I don't always. Karhawar, I'm sure that Scott Kurtz would appreciate that you killed Chris Perkins using him. Yeah. Binwin's been it to win it against Asarak. Yeah, broke that Soulmonger and him real quick. Booch Games. Any chance of bench abilities being added? Buffs applied to formation by heroes on the bench and not swapped in.
It's a cool idea. We haven't figured out what we're going to do with characters that aren't actively a part of your formation. The more characters, the more champions we put into the game, the more we want to do something with the champions you're not playing with.
Cheerleader abilities.
What that is, I don't know, but that's on my radar, sort of a long-term goal. Yeah, get that Evelyn out there.
There we go. And now I have 6 characters just kind of leveling up slowly.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even have to play anymore. Just
no, actually, you know what I could do? Still get the buffs.
go back to YouTube.
Actually, no, Evelyn will need the shield at some point. Let's be honest. She'll need that shield.
Yeah, she will.
Anyways, off to YouTube. What do we got next? Any decision on including Stonebridge in the C&E version? Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot to turn this thing back on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Flashing sensitive people are safe to come back.
Yeah.
They're horrible hosts.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding us, Erica. I totally forgot. Yeah. So any decision on including Stonebridge in the Codename Entertainment version of the Sword Coast?
No decision yet. I did flag it to look at it, though. And now I'm going to flag it again, just so I don't lose it.
I'm going to skip that question because that's a conversation we can't even have. Somebody wants a windowed full screen option and more UI scaling. I believe that's actually something that David has been doing some work on. Yeah, I mean, at least he said he has. That's why he got a 4K monitor for his desk, so he could. So, in progress, no ETA. Any plans on remaking Baldur's Gate and releasing it on a new game engine?
Something
That's cheeky.
Beamdog wouldn't appreciate it if we did that.
Yeah, yeah. They do a darn good job of it, anyways. So
Yeah.
they don't need our help. Okay, 1 level, 10 level, or upgrade settings on champion leveling. I play exclusively on upgrade. Yeah, I only switch to levels when I'm at my wall because then I want the HP and damage bonus that you get on like on a curve that doesn't necessarily get awesomer as you go. It kind of caps out at a point, like it doesn't progress as quickly, but yeah, I use it at my wall. Otherwise it's on upgrade all the time.
Yeah, I agree. Same thing.
Yeah. Magenta shirt. Since when does Nordum the Modron have anything to do with Kellenborg? He thinks that Nordum's going to be the next Evergreen.
Oh, I was like, wait, how did we tie that to Kellenborg?
That was one of the first things after when we did the Great Modron March and had Evil, and people were like, "Where's Nordum?" I was like, "Oh my god!" It's like did not cross our minds. Whereas the Great Modron March, like it marches through Faerun sometimes, so you know, and it's established that it goes through a part of Underbound, so it being by Waterdeep actually made sense.
Yeah, you haven't seen the last of the Modrons though, but
no.
Nordum is not the Evergreen champion.
Yeah. Now, will we see Primus, Chris?
I don't know. It's the same question with Sigil and all the other settings.
It's true. Alrighty, can we get a little duck hunt familiar to snipe the birds? It's kind of funny. It's also an interesting question. So when somebody asks for something like, can we get 1 or 2 familiar slots so that they like cruise around in the back area of your screen and pick off the crows or click the distractions? Like, how do you, from a design standpoint, that would kind of infringe on one of the benefits of being an active player versus being a passive player? Like, do you have any strong feelings one way or the other about that?
Yeah, I feel, and Justin may feel differently, that the distractions are more active player focused, and if we give familiars to clear those distractions, there's really no benefit to being a more active player versus an idling player, and so I feel like we want avenues for both of those players to feel empowered, and I think familiars are a great way for idling players to feel more empowered. So I think we need to give more opportunities for active players to feel empowered. So yeah, we could add familiars that'll randomly grab distractions, but I don't really think that we should. I think the distractions are part of the fun of watching the game, reading the story, and actively engaging with your formation.
Okay. I don't have anything to add. Let's see. I don't know. Do we want to address that question?
Okay, hang on a second.
Sorry for being a little quiet here. We're reading a long question that...
I don't think we do. I think that's more...
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand it. I might address it later on the Discord, because it's nuanced enough that... It's like, I don't want to spend 10 minutes explaining something on the stream when we only have like 15 minutes left.
All right, let's try to get through the rest of the questions then.
Let's see. Could a familiar hover over a champion to buff it one way or another?
You mean for specializations? Maybe?
I think they mean like you would drag your Almirage up over Evelyn, and then Evelyn would, I don't know, attack faster or something.
Yeah, different things for the familiars to do is definitely a different route we want to go. Definitely a route we want to go. Having familiars directly click on characters to give them different buffs, maybe not. I think we'd want to do that with the character design, because we also don't want players to feel like they have to engage with familiars. And if you don't have a familiar on Evelyn and Binwin and Celeste, then you're just doing it wrong, because you are choosing to get familiars instead of getting chests or whatever. So we don't want to make it feel like you have to do it.
Yeah.
So I think we'd answer character buffs with level increases and abilities that way.
Okay. Blessings when?
Not before the next Dragon Heist update.
Okay. And what about the other campaigns?
Not before the next Dragon Heist update. I on my to-do list is the tier 4s and Helm all at once.
Okay. The Blessings update. Sounds good.
Just better get your head in the Blessings.
Yeah. I don't remember how much favor I had when I did that thing, but Zappin28, is there any chance we can get a streamed game of D&D from you and the CNE crew? We would love to do that again.
Extra Life?
We did that at Extra Life last year, where we did about, I guess we only streamed about 6 hours of it, but it was 3 2-hour chunks of us playing, with donation rewards tied to impacting our gameplay, which is why we fought a Mind Flayer first. But
I need potions.
Yeah, it did not go great for us. I mean, we killed it because Adam was feeling like being a benevolent DM, but yeah, it could have easily just mopped the floor with us. What are your favorite boss fights so far?
I love the Devour. because I was working at Wizards at the time, and so I hadn't seen the design for the Devourer. I hadn't seen the design from Codenames End. I knew about it, and I saw the art, and I was like, oh, cool, a Devourer, that's cool. But I did not anticipate what you guys did with the Devourer. And so the first time it grabbed a character and just ate them, I was like, wait, what?
That's funny. I'm trying to think. Favorites. I mean, I'm always gonna have a place in my heart for that zombie T-Rex, because like, I think it's it's also got like the setting down. Like, it's a thunderstorm, it's raining, there's like flashing, if you have flashing turned on, and it's just yakking out zombies at you. That one's pretty great. I really like the Acererak one too, because it feels like, you know, an end campaign fight. At least as far as what we've done so far. Like, you know, the Soulmonger's there, Acererak's there, there's the Soulmonger tentacles there, and like, you're just getting overwhelmed by stuff that's happening. And yeah,
we fixed the icons.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So now on Deacon, for those that haven't noticed yet, we had the icons were a little messed up. So now the buff going out to everyone is a circle with all the arrows, and the buff increasing for adjacent is a quill and parchment.
Oh, okay. Cool. I didn't catch that because I click on the same spot reflexively every time and don't look. Any thoughts on whether enemies might attack from behind? So getting backstabbed, I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Ranged enemies aren't dangerous enough,
Protect your back row.
So, since events are the primary method of champion delivery, will repeated events offer both the original champion and a new one?
Sorry, only the new one. The original champion's gone. No. Yeah, they're gonna include both champions.
All right. They're wondering if the upgrade level, keyboard would start getting a single level at a time when you reach the cap.
Maybe, but I actually like from a quick understanding standpoint, I like that it grays out when you hit the max level, because if you just continue to spam leveling up that character, it might not be the right character for you to do that. So the fact that it goes gray and stops you, I like, because then you can see which characters can still get upgrade abilities, and if you want to go into level by level upgrade, then you can manually do it.
Bring on some theme music for us.
Nice.
Because I just like, all I can hear is the AC above me, and I'm like, no, let's add some.
It is
let's
really,
add some
it was
texture.
really cold in here. You were right.
I turned off our AC before I came in too. So like, this is. Oh, did you?
I did.
Okay, that's your fault
sorry.
then. It wasn't bad at first, but now it's getting chilly. It'll eventually be a fridge in this room. Right. Yes. Could we have some events pop up that give temporary buffs to the party? Could be trivia or something related to the lore or the quest.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I could definitely see lots of different ways that we could do random buffs to the party based on your play style.
Yep.
I don't want to name specific ones, but
Yeah. Let's see. Did you beat the lawful level already? I only got 3 or 4 heroes, so no way for me at the moment.
I'm surprised. I thought you had enough lawful heroes in your base crew to be able to do that.
Probably.
Yeah. 'Cause it'll allow you to play event champions as well. So
Maybe they're a new enough player that they just have none.
Yeah. Well, keep Time Gates coming up in another couple of weeks.
Yeah, we certainly have a lot of
Random
chaotic
characters.
good characters, I notice.
Mhm.
Like, just tons. Because it seems like everybody who... a lot of the streamers want to be able to play a character. Like, oh, I'm good, but I want to be able to do whatever I want. Like, you know, I'm going to adhere to this strict moral code at all times. So, yes. Anathol Belizar, I don't think there's a variant I haven't completed yet at this point. But my characters are also really geared, and I've been playing since before the game was out, so not a fair comparison to a lot of newer players.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cheeky. So when is the next Dragon Heist update? Before the end of the summer?
Yeah. It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be out before the book releases, I think.
Yes. It's certainly, I think, a worry from some of our players right at the start was that by playing the Dragon Heist Adventures, they'd be spoiling some of the content of the upcoming book. You know, which, other than the fact that it's in Waterdeep, we aren't really. Like, there's nothing getting spoiled that you can't find out having paid any attention to the press release or anything directly related to Waterdeep Dragon Heist so far. But the deeper story elements and the key points that are going to be in the book, like, we're not going to address any of those until after the book's actually out, I think. So
yeah, we're not gonna overtly spoil any big surprises. Definitely before the book releases, but then after the book releases, we are going to try and hit some of the key beats. But because of the way that you can choose different baddies for the adventure, I think that there's going to be enough original content with your campaign. Everyone's campaign goes sideways and goes in different areas, so we're gonna have similar key beats, because part of the way that different groups represent the content creates a shared language. So in Chult, you know, skipping all the spoiler stuff means that you're not actually creating that content. So
yeah,
we're gonna have some of that content, but definitely not
going to go to Port Nyanzaru, most likely.
Right.
You're going to go through the jungle. It's a very good chance that you're going to go to either Mabala or Kursabal or one of the other key locations on the way, and then you're going to go to Omu, and it's kind of hard not to go into the Tomb of the Nine Gods. So
I mean, you could skip it if you just want the.
It's true. Dice Camera Action skipped it all. Yeah. Right, like they blew up Port Nyanzaru, but they didn't actually even go to the tomb. So they never got there. Yeah, killed the dragon turtle. Yeah, like they just they noped right through it. It was great. Hey, just started playing the game like last week. Want to say good job. Yet another addictive clicker game. Glad you're liking it.
Cool. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, thank you. Alrighty. Josie U, sometimes the stories between levels go too fast for me to read. Is there any chance you could put an option in settings where I could set it to click to see the next text balloon or something along those lines?
Josie, I am you. I read slower, I guess, and a lot of times, especially on like the last dialogue, I lose it. So yeah, I either want to increase that timer in addition to giving you the ability to speed it up. I don't know, but being able to read all the text is kind of important because we spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah,
we got a really good writer that writes all our awesome dialogue, and
he may know a thing or two about D&D at this point.
I guess
probably. May have writing credits on some of the more known books.
So we definitely want people to be able to see it, but if there is a text dialogue that you miss, you can see it in the journal. So if you click your journal, you can see the text that was just shown on the screen. So if you're trying to catch up on it, you can see it that way before we fix it.
Okay.
Oh, we might actually get to the end of the questions.
I know, I can see the light. Somebody suggested on Reddit, I think, that a fifth familiar slot on the field which clicks the backmost monster instead of the nearest. Any comment?
We have ideas for familiars. There are ideas. That is a good idea.
Alrighty. Colette, could we get some mission variants where we can't use certain champions as they have been mind controlled, and we can fight them as bosses?
That sounds pretty cool.
Sounds like somebody wants to kill Archon.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, like you just...
Which honestly, I mean, Archon is evil, so I guess it's not outside the realm of possibility. Yeah.
When we create the Hand of Vecna story, that'll be the twist.
Somebody's going to type Hand of Vecna confirmed in chat in a minute. You know that, right?
Well, it's a thing. It's in the world. We play in that
world. It's true.
World.
Mike Merle's confirmed it and made Joe roll, so that's about as canonical as it gets. And he even said, this is the official... It's like, well, I guess if Mike Morrell says that, then it is the official thing. Really cool. When are we getting more upgrade levels for champions?
Soon. TBD. TM. Maybe next update. I don't know. Hand convert. You called it.
Yeah. Somebody wants Ring of Winter Paulton, which
doesn't that just mean he has black hair?
It means he's got long black hair and he's evil.
Oh, I don't want evil Paulton.
Because they did that's instead of doing Tomb of Annihilation, they did a storyline where the Ring of Winter started to possess him, and he wandered off into the Shadowfell, and they went with. And I couldn't help but notice, I'm like, I feel like Chris Perkins is very, very sneakily adding some Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes stuff to the campaign right now.
Wow.
And then sure enough, a Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes monster that had never been seen or played by anybody before killed Evelyn. So And then at the end of the episode, he's like, he's like, I'm pretty sure the challenge level was right for that, but he's kind of like second guessing himself. I was like, yeah, maybe it's a little stronger than it looks. Like, yeah, it was good. Thank you guys for putting new character dialogue in. Storytelling weekend was great.
That's awesome. Glad to hear it. Yeah, we're gonna have more champions talking, so it won't always be Jarlaxle, Binwin, and Naeli and Celeste. Those are the first 4 that you get, so it makes sense that those are the characters players hear a lot.
Yeah.
But we wanna introduce you to the different voices that the other characters have as well. In fact, Scott just wrote a really good boo joke, or Minskin boo joke, on the next adventure.
Oh, sweet. Which comes out when?
Oh, nice try. Nice try.
Cool. Well, that's a good time to start wrapping things up, because I don't see any other questions in the thing. So,
So I wanted to take a moment and thank you for coming back, because you started the stream by thanking me for taking over for you.
Oh.
And it was a super ton of fun doing it. And now I feel much more comfortable being a guest here.
Yeah. You know where all the things are.
Yeah, I can do all the things.
Yeah.
I can press all the buttons.
It's like a layer of weird, sort of dirty stuff that I assume came from the ceiling with all the traffic that's come through. Because there's been enough traffic that the walls are all scuffed up.
Oh yeah.
I
think they went
the
up
roof
twice.
access for our building is through the streaming closet. So there's just like, I came in and I wiped a ton of this down, and there's just like grime, and I was like, oh god, we're breathing this. Like,
Roof guy was outside at the start of your stream.
Was he?
Yeah, I was waiting for him to come inside so he'd be like, no, don't do
Yeah,
it.
I would have yelled at him. I'm like, it's like, there's one time a week you can't be in here. Get out of here.
He showed up last week right before the stream. I'm like, you better not be going up there. He's like, well, I was going to, but I can come back. I'm like, yes, please come back.
Yeah, and also never be back on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Like, it's really straightforward.
It's like 2 hours out of the week.
I feel like he's going,
38
is it
other
Thursday
hours.
yet? You know, that Critical Role thing. Yeah, so, and thank you for doing this while I was gone, because I was worried that we would be doing VODs for it, which is, I don't know, I mean, I don't like the idea of not engaging with our players for a couple of weeks directly, so I'm glad that you did that.
It was a ton of fun, and everyone was nice.
Yeah. Okay, so these are 2 really quick questions, and I'm going to go through them and wrap this up. So the first one from Giant Dwarf: will you go back through some of the older adventures to tweak some of the dialogue? We have talked about doing something like this, mostly about the tutorial. So it's unlikely that we're going to rewrite all of our old Grand Tour adventures from back when we started. Instead, new players can experience the joy of the writing getting better in quality the whole way through. But the tutorial could probably be better explained in some ways, and if we're going to do something like add familiars to it, or possibly other game features, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, but I don't think that we're going to go through the old dialogue and fix it, or
there's
it, but we're not.
There's a lot of it at this point. Like,
yeah,
you know, there's no shortage.
We want to put in new dialogue.
Yeah,
we want to put in new stuff.
And as for an update on when players will be able to acquire older Golden Epic equipment cards that have already come and gone, that is something that will exist, but we don't have anything to share. So,
what he said.
We'll get there. Anyways, that is our show for today, Thursday, July 26th, 2018. Thank you so much for watching our stream. Shoutouts to Pelham, Bart, Greg, John, and now Lynn over at Wizards of the Coast for being amazing partners and everything that they do to help us. Special thanks to Chris Dupuis for joining me on stream, and to community manager Erica, who co-produces this live stream with me and tries to make sure we don't miss things, even going so far as to type in live notes when I'm reading something. So like it's awesome and really helpful. Although sometimes there are notes appearing on more than one screen at a time, and I'm like, stop.
Sorry about that.
Waffle Talk is coming up next at 4 o'clock. I believe Trapped in the Birdcage is just coming back from its break as well today at 5. And then, of course, Critical Role at 7 o'clock. So have a wonderful weekend. We will see you all next week. Thanks for watching.
See y'all.